This is Harry Murray at Murray's Fly Shop in Edinburgh, Virginia. Let's look at our predictions for what type fishing we think we're going to be getting in March, both for the smallmouth and for the trout. Some of you probably have been in my smallmouth schools when I've run into this situation that I'm about to tell you about, but it is impressive. The water along the gravel bars adjacent to the bank, say a 20 to 30 foot strip out there, this is often just crowded with shiner minnows. Well, the bass come out on this shallow water, especially early in the morning and late in the evening, to feed on these shiner minnows. Now, they're not comfortable in that water that's 2 feet deep for very long, so it's a hit-and-run type thing. But they'll come charging out through there, grab a couple minnows, slip back into the deeper water close by. I use the Charlie Waterman's Silver Outcast in about a size 4. What I do is cast out in front of that bass I see chasing those minnows. And many of you that were with me, we sneak up there and I show you these literally thousands of shiners out there in that shallow water. And it is good fishing. It's fast fishing. Now, you might not get him on the first cast. You know, here comes the bass. You see the wake of the bass going. You cast out in front of him. If he doesn't nail it there, give him a couple more casts, and you'll probably get him in another cast or two. But this is fine fishing. It's exciting fishing, and there's some big bass doing this. Now, by the middle of the summer, many of these shiners will move into the grass beds, and I'll be telling you about how to handle that game. There'll always be some on the gravel bar as well as in the summer back out in the grass beds. But this is exciting fishing, and you can really catch some big fish doing it. Now, let's look what's going on this coming month now in the mountain trout streams. The quill Gordon nymphs are growing very rapidly as we're speaking. They grow real heavily. They're in the riffles themselves. As the season progresses, they slip to the downstream side of these riffles. And there they do, by the middle of the month, they're going to reach their full size. They'll come up to the surface as the emerger. This is one of the very, very few mayflies that actually pops his wings underwater. So this quill Gordon nymph is about the middle of the month. He's going to swim up toward the surface, pop his wings, fly over to the shrubs, shed his skin, come back the next day to mate and lay eggs. But now this is fast fishing to begin. At the beginning of the month, I use a Mr. Rapidan bead head in about a size 14. And it is very, very effective because they're hungry, they want to feed, and they're in those riffles, but they're at the lower part of those riffles. So I come in from below and cast my fly right straight up against those riffles. Now, we also have a hatch of the blue quill mayflies. Now, these are coming off the latter half of next month. They're going to be... It does look just like the blue quill mayfly. He's going to be hatching the latter half of the month, and he'll be on in heavy numbers. Some of the streams that I fish that have a southern exposure, now these are park streams because that's where I spend most of my time, but these that have a southern exposure, this blue quill hatch can be fantastic. On a cold day, they may not be strong enough to actually fly off the stream, and I've seen them wobble, wobble, wobble out to dry land, and I've seen them sitting on the dry land where they were so thick you had to be careful where you were walking so you didn't step on the duns out through there. But I use the both these dries, the Mr. Rapidan Parachute Dry, when I'm getting those Quill Gordons, and then I use the Blue Quill Dry in about a 16 and 18 in the latter half of the month. They're both on the water at the same time. The last half of the month, both of them are going to be there. So just watch the water, see what you're seeing the most of. Go to the one they're feeding on. But there are going to be a lot of feeding fish on the surface on these mountain streams, and it's a lot of fun. Remember now, the park is encouraging us to mash the barbs down on all of our flies. So be considerate of what you're doing there. If you have any questions on any of this, where you're going to find the good hatches, where you get that southern exposure, or anything on those shiner minnows out on the gravel bar, just call me at the fly shop here in Edinburgh, and I'll tell you what you need to know about it to take advantage of it. But March is definitely a wonderful mountain time to fish.